On this episode of Carnage, we're going to seal in the goodness and get the heads on our 427 cubic inch stroker. For those of you not paying attention, we are building a twin turbo 427 cubic inch stroker VS Commodore Ute. And these are the heads for that bad boy. They're LS3 heads. They're from ProFlow. They are 276cc. These are big boys. They are 6-bolt configuration, as you can tell by this row of lugs out here that integrate with our Dart 427 block. So we've got big valves, good springs, titanium retainers. Yeah, we've spent some money on these and they are awesome. But now we need to get them on the block, and to do that we're going to use copper gaskets and fire rings. And this is going to be a bit of an adventure. So as I mentioned before, we're using these little fire rings and they sit on the block like so. They just go into that little groove that's already been cut. They sit in there and they do not move once they're locked in the groove. And then when we have our copper gasket, we'll go over the top of that like so. I won't force it down just yet because it's got to go over the registers, but basically it sits around each one of those fire rings. But it's not just that, it needs sealant as well. And we have this wonderful black glue. We've got to use that. This 3-bond stuff, it's pretty expensive and it goes off rather quickly. So we need to glue it and get the gasket on and torque it down as quickly as possible. So yeah, this is not going to be fun and it's going to be messy. So what we're going to have to do is glue around all these water and oil ports. We've got the rings in there for the moment just to keep that goo out of the grooves. Can't let that happen. So what we'll do is we'll glue it, then pull the rings out quickly, give them a wipe over, make sure they're clean, put them back in, make sure all the grooves are clean, and then gasket on, and we've got to go as fast as we can from at that point because, yeah, once the goo's on, it needs to be all done pretty quick. Let's start smearing this stuff on. Some might say, why not put the studs in? But the studs get in the road. Pop a ring off. So use unleaded to clean these. Now for gasket, make sure you put it on the right way. All right, head studs. Let's deal with these main ones first. On the ends where the head registers are, there's slightly longer studs. So there is, in this packet of head studs, there is 3 different bolt diameters and 5 different lengths. So it's very important to read the instructions so you know exactly what is going where. This stuff is crap to work with, I've got to say. Just going to wipe the rings at the top. Alright, need to put some goo on our studs. So I'm doing these studs in particular right now because A, they provide the majority of the clamping force, and B, they are the hardest ones to get to when the head's on. Okay, one more thing, it just never ends. We have these 4 studs which screw into the head like so. So there are 23 head studs per side. Yep, 23. That's more than the entire engine in my dad's ute. So 23 per side. Now the fun part. Very carefully, we put our head over the studs without scraping them on the head surface. Okay, and we are down. All right, let's get some nuts and studs on those. This thing only torques down to about 30 Newton meters or so, 35. So I'm not really concerned about it putting any pressure on those. I just want to clamp the head down as fast as possible. Now we can torque it up properly. Okay, so let's see what our torque specs are. 30, 60, 90. First step. Okay. All right, that's 30. Here's 60. Okay. Okay, now it's up to 90. All right. Okay. All right, that is the main head bolts. Now, to the smaller stuff, like the little friends down the bottom. So once you've got your main head studs torqued down, you've got these 5 smaller ones up here, then these 4 down on this side, and then you've got the 4 studs that were on the head and went down into the block when we lowered the head on. Now, they're going to be real fun to do, especially with these tie bars in the road. Someone did say to me that you can do these lifters in through these windows, but the lifters don't even lift up out of the gallery. There's no way that you could do those tie bar lifters in through those little windows. Like, yeah, definitely had to do that before the head went on. There's just no other way to do it. But yeah, so to do those nuts under there, we're going to have to lift the tie bar up, put the washer under there, which we had to modify as well. Where are they? I had to modify the washers because they won't fit as standard. And it's nothing to do with the heads, it's all to do with the block. So I had to basically grind off an edge on the washers so they can fit up there and get a nut onto them. They will sit against the block. And then, yeah, basically we're going to have to feed them up in there, put the nut on there as well. I'm not sure how we're going to do this, but bear with me. See how we go. So I'll lift up the tie bar, put our washer in there. Got it up there. Now let's get a nut on there. Jesus. The washer's fallen off now. Not what I thought I'd be doing when I got up this morning. Wow, that's painful. That's one. All right, it's all the way. Haltech de-pinning tool for the win. Basically, you got to lever it up there, hold it in the right spot, kind of rotate it on a bit. Wow. Anyway, let's start talking some stuff up. All right, 28 foot-pounds for these. All right, so we're doing this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Next. Next one's the 55 foot-pounds, and these are our ones on the outside here. Now obviously we're not going to fit a torque wrench in there. Now it says 28 foot-pounds, which is about a fair bit. Okay, so let's just crank it up. Want to know a secret? Can't get the fucking spanner on the nut. What is the purpose of these nuts again? The spanner will not go up onto the nut. Whose idea was this? All right, let's find another spanner. No, Too thick. All right, try this one. Little King Chrome 3/8. Oh, it's on there. Okay, cool. All right, moving along. Okay. Talk to spec. Well, you don't need to see all that again, so through the magic of editing, and just like that, we have both heads sealed on the engine. That was a bit of a mission. I hope we don't have to ever do that again. So from here, we have a valley plate from ProFlow. Comes with its own seal on the bottom, so you don't have to actually run a separate gasket. So we'll put that on for the time being. This will be temporary because I've still got to do the push rods and stuff like that, and I want to be able to see in there while I'm doing that, but you know, we'll throw a couple bolts in here. Keep the goo and rabbits out. So that's a good little temporary measure, but that will be the cover we will run when it goes in the car, and then obviously the intake's up there on the car, rocker covers are on the car, so we'll grab them when we can. Let's show you the rocker gear and that sort of stuff. Just grab them. So go like that. For our rockers, we have straight ones and we have angled ones. You got to make sure you get them on the right sides. So the angled ones are on the intakes. So there's that. And there's a straight one. Obviously, I have rocker bolts for all those. But yeah, once we do our trunnion upgrade, we'll be able to do all of those. We obviously have to get our right push rod length as well. So there is still bits and pieces to do. I do have an oil pump here. So that'll go like that with bolts there and there, which I do not have at the moment. So because we've started with a fresh build, we don't have all the bolts that you usually get with these things. So I've got to get oil pump bolts. I have the seal for the front, but I don't have a front cover, so I'll have to order a front cover as well. So there's just a small list of things that are building up that I don't have, that I will have to order. I'll order them through VPW, and you're going to see all these on future episodes of Carnage.